What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Myrina Automotive Group. Myrina is Missouri's #1 car dealership with over 20 locations, so I guarantee that there's one in your neighborhood. Since the 1970s, Myrina has sold over 1 million cars, and John and the entire team made us feel completely comfortable when we picked up our new vehicle recently for the family. So I can't thank the Myrina team enough for driving this episode forward, and enjoy the show.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home. Yeah.
What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. We're back with another episode highlighting the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. I just want to take a few moments to thank each and every one of you for listening every week. We've been doing this show now for for 3 years now, and we've done over 150 episodes, and we continue to highlight the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special, and we have one of those people in here in the studio today. We met a couple years ago. I think it was when I was at Spark Co-working, and we did a fun giveaway video there. You have a big event coming up, but I want to tell people who you are. So I have Myrina, also known as Renaissance, in the studio. She is the creator of Her Eminent Reign Series. You're also a fashion, portrait, and event photographer, born and raised right here in St. Louis. I'm going to kind of let you tell a little bit more of your bio, but you're also a mom. Most importantly, you do all these things for the community. But I want to take a step back because we just talked about high school a little bit, right? So I want to tell people where you're from, tell people kind of your childhood and what led you to where you're at today.
Yeah, so of course I'm from St. Louis, and thank you so much for having me up on this show. I really appreciate it, and it's been great to tap in with you again.
Yep.
But I'm from the Lou. I'm not proud. They go. L's up. So I went to Parkway Central. That's actually where I graduated from. Class of 07.
Let's go Colts.
I ain't gonna tell my age. And yeah, I'm a mom of 6. I am also a wife. I'm a photographer. I do that full time, 8 years. And I learned from my dad when I was like 10 or 11 years old. He put the camera in my hands. I did not like photography, mainly because I wanted to just get money. Just give it to me. I don't want to work for it, you know. But that trade and him giving me that introduction really allowed me later on in life to turn it into something that is of today. And I can't thank my dad enough for putting the camera in my hands.
So when your dad put the camera in your hands, do you remember what kind of camera it was?
A Canon.
A Canon? Okay, we're shooting on 2 Canons right now. Do you still have it or no? It got lost in translation.
You know what?
You wish you probably still had it.
I have a few of my dad's old cameras. He passed away in 2023.
Okay.
So I have a few of his cameras and stuff, but I actually shoot with the Fuji now because Canon is too big. It's bulky. I do a lot of event photography and my wrist.
Well, the Fuji's colors are crazy too.
It is.
Like the colors out of a Fuji, and I know Marty's in here shooting on a Sony. I love Sony too. Sony's colors are crazy. So let me ask you a little bit about your dad. So you mentioned, was he a full-time photographer, or was just a passion of his?
No,
He
so
just loved
my
to do it?
dad was what you call the picture man.
Okay.
At
all the parties.
At the parties, at the clubs, they got the
events.
backdrops. They take your picture and then they print it out and put it in the little, envelope for you. So that was my dad. He did that part-time, but my father worked for the federal government for 40 years.
Okay. So he just was always that guy. So like you probably have these books that you can show your kids of all these photos of you guys because he was always taking photos.
You know what? My daddy didn't share his picture. So I have drives though that have a lot of the photos on there. So slowly but surely I'm kind of going through and sifting through some of that stuff. Yeah. But yeah.
So before photography, so you mentioned you've been doing photography for 8 years. So let's say it's 2025 now. So since like 2017, 16, you've been shooting photos. Before then, I mean, you mentioned fashion, you mentioned all these other things. I mean, what were your other passions besides just taking photos before that?
I was just being a mom, hustling, I worked in corporate America for a few years. So I didn't really tap into my creative side until I lost my job.
Oh, really?
so
tell me about that.
Well, I started to kind of step into my authentic self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ferguson happened, and
Yep.
then a couple of things kind of led me into wanting to learn more about my history and just who I am and where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
And so in me doing that, I started to change my appearance a little bit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily in alignment anymore with corporate culture.
Yeah.
And so, we ended up going our separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so in me doing that, it put me in a space where I had to take a leap of faith because I didn't want to be considered dependent anymore on a job to make sure I can take care of my family. I needed to figure out how to make my own money.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I got into photography. And that's why I'm so grateful to my dad, because had I not had that experience, I don't know if I would have even picked the camera back up again.
In your in your 20s, you're not picking up new hobbies.
No, you kind of, like I said, just
Yeah.
on the go and trying to hustle. So, but I went to UMSL full time at the same time. So
Wow.
I was doing that and starting a new business.
How did you balance that? Because I think I'm going through that now with my 2 kids. I'm a business owner, but I have 2 kids under 2, and I have that balance of like trying to like work on your career, and sometimes it's easier just to settle and get comfortable. So like, what were some of those challenges you had, because you had multiple kids at that time too?
I did. So I think it was more of a support system challenge that I struggled with. And so my oldest children ended up moving to Texas with their father. So that gave me a little bit of space to be able to figure out like building a portfolio where I'm charging $25, $50 for a photo shoot just so I can get people in front of my camera, or even doing a lot of pro bono work,
of course,
just to build up my skill set and being mentored. And so when I think about today and now having 6 children and how I balance it all, it's my partner. The support of your partner and how they show up makes or breaks your vision and your ability to execute your vision. I can't say that I would necessarily be in the position that I am right now if it wasn't for the support of my partner.
No, that's amazing. So we're talking about Women's History Month. You got this huge event. So tell me about Create Her. It's a big part of it is your brand, is Her. And I'm a girl dad of 2, and it's Women's History Month. So just tell me about the movement and tell me some of the impact that you've had with other women creators and different things that you guys highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. So Her Eminent Reign is really just a photography-focused exhibition. That's where it started. Of course, I'm a photographer. But I wanted to go deeper than just taking pictures of subjects. I wanted to understand who people were that were before me, and their stories may have been forgotten. A lot of time in mainstream, we talk about the same people over and over, but I was like, there's got to be more depth to these stories. And so it made me go online, go to bookstores. I started reading and researching, and I started coming into this knowledge, which has been my power, right? To recreate photographs of these women who have been forgotten. So the first year I was like, all right, I woke up from a dream. Here we are. Let me figure out how to do it. And I wanted to work with all women that look like myself. I just know that we execute on a higher caliber. We do great work. But I also wanted to feel the love of sisterhood. It was something that I've been missing growing up. And so I wanted to curate that type of environment. So I put us all together in the room in 5 days. And I was like, look, can we execute? Here's the 3 ladies. Here's the 3 looks. And they brought everything they needed to bring. And we were able to continue to do that. So when we think about impact from Her Eminent Reign, we have women who were either strangers, have never worked together, never met, and people who were familiar with each other, but now they have even deeper bonds. Like they work on other projects and side things together. One of our women was discovered by Broadway and Elton John, as a wig designer for our project. She was discovered by Stages, and they hired her to work on Broadway for a few of their shows. We've been up in the airport, 7.5 million views. We have a proclamation week now. March 25th through March 31st is now Her Eminent Reign week in the city of St. Louis.
That's amazing.
So when we talk about some of those achievements, like, we've been able to do so much together, and we've through collaboration of about 80 plus women now, creatives anyway.
So when did the first event happen then? Was that...
So the first event was online,
okay,
because of COVID.
I remember,
So that was in 2021. It was a digital exhibition.
Okay.
So STL made partnered to help run some ads to share the story. And then in 2022 is when we went to the dark room. So we had our first exhibition actually in the dark room.
Yeah, and then I'm reading something here about how you also went on tour. Is that what? Is that something I'm reading here? The Age of
Yeah, with
Pleasure tour.
Janelle. Yes, I did.
We just
Lord.
glossed over that. Come on now. I didn't even know that.
Well, let me
You
hip
know?
you. Let me put you up on game. So she was on her tour in the States, and in partnership with the organization called Black Women Photographers, they were looking for different photographers in each city that she was going to.
Yeah.
And so they put out a call because she was going to be coming to St. Louis, and I applied.
Of course.
So here we go. The day before, I got all these kids. I need to make sure, I got some people set up to keep them. Yeah. So I'm like, they ain't said nothing. I made a post on Instagram. I said, y'all, I applied to take pictures of Janelle when she comes to St. Louis. Tag the team for me, So I put the tags in there. So they started tagging. Literally the day of her show here in St. Louis is when they reached out to me and was like, hey, you got the job. I was like, dang, let me find a babysitter.
So that was the show at the Enterprise, or was it?
It was at
Hollywood.
The Peabody.
Oh, Peabody.
Yeah. So
nice.
that was the show there, and then I went to Atlanta. I went to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then when she went to the UK, when she was opening up for Coldplay, they put out another call. I applied. I reached out to her team, and they had me come and shoot in Rome.
Wow.
So scary but fun.
That is scary. That's great. That was your first time over there.
Baby.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd never been
you
overseas.
Took your 3-month-old out there with you. Wow.
I did.
It
was one of the moments where I was
shoot.
like, make or break it.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, and it's like you mentioned, like you could have just applied and then just moved on with your life, just like 99% of other people would. But there's this thing that I see in you and other entrepreneurs that it's shooting your shot. You're a shooter. You're taking pictures, but you're also shooting your shot. And there's something about that, because what's the worst that can happen? You tag a bunch of people, and then the day goes by and they say no.
That's it.
And then
or they just don't respond. Leave me on red.
What was that like for your career? I mean, do you think that was a big? I mean, obviously that's a huge moment for your career as far as your portfolio goes, but I think that the experience alone has probably helped you from that.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Lucas. Like, when I walked out onto that stadium and I saw 80,000 people in the stands, I was like, what type of major
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what did I just walk into? Yeah. It was the most surreal thing I think I've ever seen. 80,000 people. I've never seen that many people in my life. Yeah. And so knowing that both of us, Janelle and I, are both two girls from the Midwest chasing our dreams, just doing what we do, and literally chasing her, from the dressing room to the stage, because she runs.
Yeah. And you're like,
seriously. She was like, okay, now video. Okay, dang. I had my little belt. I'm like, all right, video. Boom, boom, boom. She was like, all right, take a couple pictures. I'm like, shit. Right?
Spraying.
But she's sporadic like that. So, you just kind of do what you do. But to have been able to do that and meet her team and just be with, hang out with everybody, it was really dope. And they were very accommodating with my husband and my daughter. Yeah. I coined her as the age of pleasure baby. So now she finna go and be one, and I'm gonna make some really cool posts. But she an international baby already. She took her first international trip. She's passport and everything.
Your dog. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. She's got one up on some of your other kids that didn't get to go.
Oh, definitely. I know. Look at
Steven's in the studio. He's hella mad.
Like, I wanted to go. I'm sorry, son.
You at school, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. No. He didn't. Nope.
Oh, it was just summer break. It's all good. It's all good. One day.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. I think that, and there's something about it, of that experience that you had, but now you're, doing these. So I want to talk a little bit about photography. So, I'm a former, I still shoot photography. I know we have another photographer in here, but everybody has a different style. Yeah. And when you talk about telling stories, there's these photos that we're taking today, or this video that we're shooting today, we're telling stories. So how do you, like, there's a lot of creators that listen to our show, but how do you tell stories through your photography, and like what does it mean for you when you're working on a photo, like the time that you spend to create? Because like these aren't just photos on your iPhone. This is different. This is art.
I know, right? When you put it like that, it makes me feel a little unique. I typically, through the project with Her Eminent Reign, I really just go and find images of women, and then I try and find ways to recreate the photos of today. But what I really enjoy the most is painting with the light. I feel like lighting really puts together a mood. Yeah. And I just can't do regular light anymore. I don't know.
The sunlight.
Oh my gosh, shooting outside is not. It's cool, but I like control. Maybe that's a Gemini in me. I don't know. But when I'm working in the studio, if I'm able to color, use gels and things of that nature, shape my light in a certain way, I feel like that enhances the storytelling. Because the model and the subject, they're going to give you a mood, right? A lot of times I'm talking to them a certain way when I'm trying to get a certain emotion out of them.
Right.
Or I have them, especially the women who honor other women from Her Eminent Reign, I have them go and do research themselves. So you have to go online. You have to go look at videos. You have to figure out who this person was because otherwise you come to the set with no substance.
Exactly.
You know, so you can't tell a story of somebody else. It's like being an actress or an actor, you know, especially if you're doing a biopic. You have to go and study that character to understand who they are so then you can really express it. So that's something that I encourage and empower the women to do. And then for just like my regular everyday clients who want me to tell their story, I go straight into, okay, who are you and what's some adjectives that describe you? Then I use those adjectives and I treat it like a poem, right? I start putting some rhymes together. They be like, wait, are you freestyling or something? I don't know. I'm just here. Just roll with me. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. This is what we're doing. We go on Pinterest. We do a few things. But even through that preparation, I never really know how it's going to turn out until I do it because I'm led by the soul at this point. Yeah.
It's the art approach, and it's like what you mentioned with the lights, but it's so difficult to tell a story through a picture sometimes, especially when it's like you tell the subject, you're like, okay, study this woman. And then they like, I guess like the fashion's a big part of it. So that's where you tie in the fashion with the photography. But yeah, you guys have some amazing lineup. I'm looking at some of these people on your guys' website now. So tell me about who's going to be at the event, because the event is crazy, but it's a 3-day event. So March 28th, March 29th, and March 30th.
Absolutely.
So cocktails, coffee, and connections at Anita's from 10 to 3, March 28th. We got She Believed, a film premiere from 6 to 9 on March 29th. And then March 30th is the garden party or the avant.
The avant-garde
okay.
party.
I was sorry.
Now,
I'm reading.
I love y'all, We Power, but we are not the garden party.
Yeah, they do a good one too. Yeah, they do a good one. So tell us about how the weekend how you map this out, because the She Believed weekend takeover is a collection of a bunch of women, but also you're leading creative on this whole entire event. There's a lot that goes into these 3-day events.
So I coined myself as a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
But okay.
No, go ahead.
I coined myself as a little cuckoo, but I feel like what artist isn't, especially when you have a big vision, sometimes you have to, try different things and just go for it. And so that's where I am right now. Okay. We going from 1 day to now 3 days. I don't know. Don't ask me how we got there, but so as I think about just how the event is going to play out through the weekend, of course, we're starting with our artist talk on Friday. And the goal of that talk is to really bring some of the producers from the film together to kind of talk about our process making the film. It's kind of like making the band. Yeah. Okay. No Diddy. But we're doing that. Yeah. And it's going to be a curated conversation that's moderated by Brock Seals. So this year I've been even more intentional in past years, but even more so this year, including men, because I do think it's important for men to be a part of what it is that we're doing. Like my biggest support system is my husband. Why not have more men in the building? So we're going to definitely transition from the artist talk and making of the film to the actual film. And so that premiere is in partnership with 24/1 Cinema, located on Page. And so the film in itself is not just a documentary about the 4 years of what we've done with Her Eminent Reign, but it's connecting a story from my life and my purpose, and why it was so important for me to form community bonds with women, period, and have positive relationships that are non-competitive, period. As I think about just my own personal story, and I didn't know this until I started producing the film, but my own personal story is that generationally, I'm breaking patterns. So I've had a rough relationship or an almost non-existent relationship with my mother. My mother with her mother has their relationship the same, and then with my daughter, it was distant for a time too. And we're all the first daughters, in our generation. So it's one of those things where for a long time, especially when I first started Her Eminent Reign, I struggled with the contradictory feeling. Man, out here in the public eye, I got all these positive relationships, but personally, it's a lot of trauma. And I started to learn that the reason why I was seeking those positive relationships is because I wasn't sure how to have them myself personally. I didn't learn that, So within the film, we kind of delve into a little bit of that backstory to really help the audience understand the why Her Eminent Reign is even in existence today, and then what I've been able to cultivate through that challenge that I had personally. Right?
Yeah.
I've turned it into something that is blooming.
Yeah.
So, I do believe that Her Eminent Reign comes from a place of pain, but there's a lot of passion. I feel like that comes from pain as well. And then, since this is our first film, we got to party.
Yeah.
So we gonna party on Sunday. It's avant-garde. We gonna turn up. We gonna celebrate just women. Period. Women's History Month. Closing it out. This is our inaugural celebration of our Proclamation Week.
Nice.
And the premiere itself. So
you got the proclamation last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is now the full-on celebration.
This is the full-on celebration.
Mayor Jones got you.
She hooked me up.
That's
Thanks,
incredible. So the documentary, that's She Believed. Okay. So tell me what that means to you. She Believed. Because that's different than your other branding with Her Eminent and Her and Her, but now it's She Believed.
She Believed. Man, I didn't even know I would have a spinoff, right? It's giving a spinoff. But She Believed, when I think about what that means to me, it really encompasses the other side of doubt. Because there was so much of that existed in my life. Like from the moment I became a teen mom, right? You're not gonna. Working in school, but not quite finishing in time. You're not gonna, right? And there was always this belief system within myself that I had to have in order to finish those things. If I didn't have it, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't exist. And so when I think about the fact that I do believe and that I have believed in myself, I believe that people who have been around me and who have had the opportunity to experience me also believe. And they believe not only in me, but they believe in themselves. So now we have something that's contagious, right? A belief system that's contagious. Like if that sister did it, I know this sister can do it. And if that sister did it, then this sister can do it. And so when we get together in these group settings, all of us believing in something that each other got going on, and we're showing up in different ways for each other. It's been financial ways we've shown up for each other, just a listening ear that we've shown up for each other creatively, right? Like my makeup is sponsored and she's showing up for me, right now.
Right.
Elizabeth Danielle is showing up for me because they believe, and so it's nothing that I wouldn't do to show up for them too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's special. And you mentioned something even before that. You said like non-competitive ever, because women, you might compete over anything in your whole life, boys and money and jobs and attention. And now with the internet, this internet is awesome, but it is, especially with women, and that's something I fear with my daughters, is like they see other girls on here that are not real. They might be real, but they're not real.
Right.
And then you want to be like that. Like when we were younger, we weren't comparing ourselves to people that weren't there on the internet. You were comparing yourself to your neighborhood,
the people
like girls
right next to you.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of a different process. So I'm glad that you guys have a space, and there's never enough rooms. And we always talk about third space. You have work, you have home, and you have this third space, and you guys have created this third space. So I can't wait to take my girls to your events when they get old. I mean, I might even take them this year. I don't even know. It just depends.
They could definitely come to the film premiere because you better know all of my kids gonna be there. So
what about the long-term vision? Because I mean, we're 5 years in now. Because like you said, 2020 was that COVID year. There was that first year. I hate to ask people 5-year goal because it's so long to look at, but what's some of the future look like for what you want to do, and what are some of the things that you want to build, and what would be success in your mind, or are you already feel success? It's hard because sometimes we never feel like we do.
right when it that's a hard question.
Yeah.
But you know what? One of my goals, and I don't know if it's a 5-year goal, 1-year goal, whatever, but I do know that one of my goals is to be able to secure enough funding to gainfully employ my team. That is one of the major goals for me. I do believe that women, period, should be compensated at a fair wage. We are mothers. We have families too. So even though I'm truly grateful for the work that people do in sponsoring and pro bono, I do want us to get to that place that is a part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also want to just copy and paste this in other cities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would love for other women to do what we're doing, show up on production sets. They're creative. And it don't got to look like what we're doing, but but more so telling our stories, telling whatever stories they want to tell, but being more intentional about hiring each other. I think a lot of times we get in this race of like trying to get to it first, but not necessarily let's get there together and let's do it together. So that's definitely a 5-year goal.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think you're on the way.
I am. It's coming. All these grants I apply for, Lord.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. It's like it takes time and energy, and then you have marketing and you have PR people and all these different things. Of everybody's working towards elevating this event. All the other girls, I see them posting. I see the event everywhere. Like everybody's just posting it and posting it and posting it. And it's gonna come. So the first time anybody's gonna see the film is gonna be that day.
Yeah, March 29th.
Are you nervous?
I am. You know what? I was telling Danielle, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be in the room while people watching the film.
You don't want to look at people's faces.
I
like
don't.
You're gonna be like,
I don't.
or somebody like on their phone for a second. You're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You watching? You ain't watching. I don't want to see people's reactions for real. I know, but they was like, no, we're gonna put you in there and stand at the door and make sure you don't leave, type of deal.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah. But I think for me, because I am going into something personal, that's a little hard because, as creatives and artists, everything that we create and cultivate is from a personal place. Yeah. So to put yourself out there, you just never know how people are going to receive you. But then also, I've dealt with a lot of controversy, in particular, just in St. Louis, doing Her Eminent Reign. So with the triumphs and all the achievements and all the stuff that makes it pretty, we still got to talk about the trials. We got to talk about the things we've overcome. Because it does lead to something beautiful. And I want people to understand there is not going to be any success without you having some adversity. And how you deal with that adversity and how you handle those challenges is going to really determine how you can move forward. We deal with a lot of rejection. Yeah. It's tough. I just dealt with some rejection yesterday. And I'm trying to, continue to pivot, find solutions. Yeah. Nothing is stable under your feet when you're an entrepreneur or a creative out here. You got to keep on figuring out how to keep it stable, you know. So.
You have to be okay with failing, but you just have to fail forward.
Man.
And that's really the thing with what you're doing, and people will see it. And I think one of the things that make me feel better is something that could also make you feel better is like, although people are going to judge you, but like nobody else is doing, like there's people doing stuff like this, but like just you doing this and trying is better than
not trying at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're just doing it, and it's hard to put yourself out there because it's like this is your life. You have a family, and it's like I don't have to do this all the time. You know, it's not like you're gonna make millions of dollars that weekend. So it's
but it's courage.
It is courage,
and I hope that it gives other people. You be woman, man, child, whatever, however you identify. I just hope that it gives other people the courage to tell their truths, to be okay with their past, and to figure out how to, leverage that past to make something positive. It doesn't always have to be down the drain just because something happened then. It's not an indicative of who you are to become and who you're meant to be. So
I'm going to ask you something. I didn't even prep you for this, but I was going to ask you of your collab, like your dream collab partner. Is there a person that if you could do, or a person, woman, or whatever, or brand, but like it could be like a person with a brand, like you're shooting. This could be like an artist, it could be a musician, it could be a fashion brand, it could be all the above. But like if you put her in a room and you're like, okay, I'm working with her, and then I have this brand, and we're doing a collab, and I'm shooting it here in St. Louis, or we're doing something, like, and I know I put you on the spot, so we can come back to it, but do you have a vision for what that would be?
I do. And I do not want to butcher the name of this project. Dang. But you know what, though? It would be Queen Latifah.
Okay.
She has a project that is similar to Her Eminent Reign, and they honor women's stories, too. And I think they do it through film and media. But
she kills it. Like I feel like Queen Latifah doesn't get enough credit for everything that she's done. I mean, she's one of the best artists, but also when it comes to movies too. I mean, it's crazy.
You know what? I binge watched in Living Single when I was in college because I wanted girlfriends like that. Yeah. I wanted that sisterhood where, you know, I can be Maxine Shaw, which a lot of people do compare me to her, but I could be Maxine and I could just come over, open the door. I know my friend Regine probably then cooked up a meal and she probably like, no, don't come over here eating all my food. But she understand my life and still love me, and we have that nice banter, you know? Yeah. And so when I think of her creating that, it just reminds me of what is possible and that it is possible to have this beautiful sisterhood and we all doing our separate things. I mean, when I look at Queen Latifah's journey just on Living Single alone, she started a magazine and it was struggling. Yeah. And her cousin worked for her as her receptionist. And you can see throughout the seasons, like it just kept getting better. Little by little, she was able to put up a window to her office. You can still see her in there, but it was just the small upgrades that just reminds you that if you stay consistent, you'll get there. So seeing her journey throughout my young adulthood, my childhood, and now, you know, still later today on, I'm still like in awe of her. So yes, Queen Latifah. The dream collab. Yeah, that would be. Hey, girl.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
You just listen to the whole interview.
We'll tag it. We'll tag her. You know, we just got to do the same thing we did with Janelle. You just tag her.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how active she is on the gram or anything. But...
I don't either.
We'll get her. Elizabeth will get her.
Thanks, girl.
So I want to talk a little bit about St. Louis.
Yes.
So before we get into your bucket list, I know a bunch of people are going to want to know your favorite spots, but I want to talk about what St. Louis means to you. You're born and raised here. You're raising your family here, and you're doing these projects here. So what is the support that the city has put behind you? What does that mean to you?
What does it mean to me? It means that my city believes in me. It means that they value that I'm here. It means that they value that I'm fertilizing and cultivating the soil in St. Louis, and that I'm doing something that provides experiences to people, of all people, just in general. And so to me, that support, I don't know, it just feels unmatched. Like, I don't feel like I can go somewhere else and get this level of support. I think people will like what I'm doing. I think they will show up, but I don't think the love will be the same as what I get here in St. Louis. Like, I can call people here. Yeah. And I have genuine conversations with people. They're not always transactional. And that feels good. Yeah. You know, St. Louis is definitely a small city with a big ass heart. Excuse me, I shouldn't have cursed, huh?
No, you can curse.
Okay. A small city with a big heart. And I think that's what I love the most, you know? Yeah. I can be vulnerable here.
No, that's special. Yeah, you can curse on pod. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I should have asked that
unfiltered. Yeah, we're unfiltered here. But I really enjoyed telling your story, and we're going to post about the event and really try to get more people out there. But if people can't make it to the event, I mean, what other ways that can we support? I know, can we pledge? I mean, obviously you have sponsor packets. I don't know if it's too late for any of that stuff.
It ain't too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late. I know that's right.
This is a year-long planning process. So even though we're 2 weeks out, if people cannot make it, they are more than welcome to pledge. We are fiscally sponsored by Midwest Artist Project Services, a 501c3, so all contributions are tax deductible. So yes, pledging, sharing the post, you know, letting their friends know. We are looking for volunteers. We are accepting applications for media requests and passes. If people want to collaborate with us, we are definitely open to new partnerships. I'm in the process right now of cooking. I'm cooking what I'm doing for next year. Okay. So, you know, if people have any interest in that, definitely sponsorships. Absolutely. Okay. Even though some of our events are kid friendly, we do have events that are strictly for adults. So we do, you know, work with alcohol sponsors and stuff like that as well. So yes, definitely. Right now, the current sponsor package we have is an ad sponsor package. So because our documentary is 3 episodes, we are promoting for anybody who has a business or a charity or a message, whatever the case may be, that's in alignment with what it is that we do, can purchase ad placement in between the episodes at the premiere. So
nice. You're going to play all 3 back to back? Are you all 3 episodes? Or you?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, we're going to play all 3 of the episodes.
I'm a binge watcher too, so I'll just keep watching.
Oh, yeah, no. We setting it up like a Netflix situation.
Yeah, it's just like you still watching. I'm like, yo.
Next episode. You know what? I like that idea. I think I'm going to put something like that next episode. And then
you still up, question
fill
mark?
Up the tab. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
amazing. So how long total is it then? The 3 episodes?
It's 15 minutes an episode. 3 episodes, 45. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. And they're all different themes then too. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's not just it's not a full, like, because I was gonna say you could put all 45 together, but they are all different stories.
It's episodic. We got some different.
And then
stories.
will you be releasing that like on YouTube and stuff after the event, or are
no?
you gonna be releasing...
So we're actually just gonna do a film premiere in person, mainly because we would like to submit to film festivals. So if it's published anywhere, a lot of festivals we would then not meet the criteria and they won't accept us. So that's the other thing. The reason why we're doing the sponsored ad placement is to help us raise funds so that we can pay for film festival fees, and then any travel that may be necessary for us to travel to the film festival if we were to be accepted. That's awesome. So that's how people can really show up, is to help us put it in circulation. That's the easiest way for us to get Her Eminent Reign to travel right now, so that it meets our 5-year goal of being able to duplicate it in different cities.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. So I'll drop the website in there as well, so that people can find that. And then the energy that goes into these events is crazy. Like, we've done events ourselves and they just drain me physically, like, because like there's so much that goes into it, but like your day-to-day job doesn't stop though. Like, you still have to, take care of your family, but you still have to actually work too. It's not like this is your only thing. It's just to plan this event,
I'm trying to tell you.
So that, like, I can't wait till you have that feeling of when you're sitting there at the party on Sunday and you're finally done and you can like actually have a cocktail maybe and have a good time.
Oh, I'm definitely drinking the whole weekend.
The whole weekend.
Whole weekend. I'm drinking the whole weekend. But
but relaxing, because on Sunday you're like, I don't got to go to work tomorrow.
You know what? That's true, because I'm going on a blackout. Like, as soon as this is over, I know I may do a. Let me say this. Danielle probably gonna have me do a couple follow-up press responses. Yeah. It's cool. I do them. Yeah. But after that, we got to. Because my wedding anniversary is March 25th.
Okay.
March 25th. And then I have the Her Eminent Reign weekend. And then my daughter turns 1 on April 2nd.
Oh, wow. Busy ass week.
It's really busy. Yeah. And then March 31st, we're actually going into the schools to do a Her Eminent Reign production with the girls at Hazelwood Southeast.
Oh, okay.
So, exposing them to the arts,
I got to get you at Parkway, because Marissa, my wife, runs the Sister Project at Parkway, which is a girls program.
Well, come on.
Yeah, she's always looking for the girls to come volunteer.
Take me back.
So they have bigs and littles. So like the freshmen and the seniors and then the juniors and the sophomores will be like a big little like sorority kind of, not like sorority, but like more of a sisterhood.
I get it. And I loved Parkway. So definitely bring me back.
I'll definitely
I live around the corner from Parkway.
Perfect. Yeah. So we're good. All right, now STL Bucket List. This is the Bucket List Show. Our brand is, we post food, we post events, we post things to do. I'm sure you're a big foodie. I'm sure you're and I know you like to drink. So, I want to ask you some of your favorite spots. So I'll just let you go. So basically the bucket list is just some of your favorite things to do in St. Louis. Do you have some restaurants? Do you have some bars, maybe some events, maybe some parks, kid-friendly stuff, whatever you think.
All right. So boom. Nexus Midtown.
Yeah. That's a new spot.
Yes.
I haven't been there yet. Yeah. Yes. They've been working on it. It's right next to Anita's spot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the food.
It's fire.
Yes. I love their chicken. They have another one that's like an Indian chicken dish.
It's kind of sexy in there too. It's
so sexy. It's definitely a vibe. Yeah. But you know what gets me every time? They greens. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, mama, but they collards. I love you, mama, and I grew up on your greens and they good, but the greens is definitely fire.
Wow.
So I definitely encourage going there. It's definitely sexy. I love the vibe. Mm-hmm. Everybody cool. The other place, it's a food truck. Mm-hmm. Fufu and sauce. My girl Adjo.
Yeah.
Miss Great American Recipe.
Yes.
Award-winning chef. We
that
actually
oxtail's crazy.
Crazy. First of all, Adjo, I just want to tell you how much I love your food. And thank you so much for bringing me back home, even though I've never stepped foot in Africa. I just know that that's my home. Fufu and Sauce is definitely that place. We actually do a Fufu and Her annually. So we invite some of the women. We come together and we enjoy West African dishes together, but definitely Fufu and Sauce. Now, so I love food. I keep on going on food. Let me think. Where do I like to go? Where we like to go, son? We like to go to Main Event. That's always fun.
That's a good spot.
They enjoy places like Amp Up, stuff like that.
Trampoline parks and
stuff. That type of stuff. Creve Coeur Park is definitely our place. Like, what's the name of that gorilla park?
Ape. Go Ape.
Go Ape.
The zip lines.
Yeah, that's been cool. What else? What else we like to do, son? Because we stay at home a lot, and I'm always cooking.
Go anything outside.
Urban Air. He enjoys Urban Air.
Trampoline
I
parks
really
are
want to try that Brentwood Park, that new outdoor park that they have over
the
there.
outdoor playground.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that. The Science Center is always a go-to, okay?
Yeah,
anything free at this point in time is good.
Yes.
Especially with this many kids.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's
tough to go to, especially Main Event. Sheesh.
Bruh. Okay, but you know who's been really helpful with me finding stuff to do with my kids is the St. Louis Moms Guide. I gotta shout them out. They're really good. So is For the Culture with Ohan. They do a really good job of just keeping us updated with the new spots that's coming down the line. So I like them. What else do I like to do though?
So what's a
21C is good.
21C, yeah. So what's like a date? So Nexus is like a date night. You mentioned food. But like, what about like your anniversaries coming up? Like, what's another date night spot? I mean, what are you guys doing? You guys got plans yet?
Let me ask you, what should we do? Because
you don't even got plans yet because you've been planning this party. Your husband needs some attention. Come on, he's probably listening. Like, I know damn well we're not going nowhere.
I love you. I do. I love you dearly. But I need some help. I ain't even gonna hold you, Lucas. Like,
But I would say you should do like a little staycation, but there's no way you can do all that weekend. You might have to wait till after your daughter's first birthday. So then you're a week late. So then you're going after April 2nd.
You know who I like? The Bubble. Who does The Bubble? Belle Daris, the violinist.
The Bubble.
Yeah, she has a bubble. I can't remember the name. Bubblux.
What is it? I don't know. I don't even know.
So you know how they put you go into the park and they have those clear bubbles that you can sit inside and you can eat.
The igloos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so she does those, and we've done that for our anniversary before, and she just pops up at different locations.
She'll pop up in the park and set it up for you. We've done one of those, like a picnic.
She'll play the violin.
Oh, she plays the violin too?
Yeah, she does. Damn. So that's, I mean, of course, that's extra. But anyway,
of course. Yeah.
She'll play the violin. She also has a chef that she partners with to cook you meals or dinner or something if you want that.
That's really cool.
And then sometimes I've shown up to photograph some of the couples sometimes too.
Yeah,
so
that's really cool. Yeah, we did one of those picnic in the parks one time. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I know it's hard to get out as much because, like you said, you got a family at home. So, like, I'm surprised you already tried Nexus already. You got invited to the.
That's because I be going by myself. Sometimes I'll pop up somewhere and.
So you like solo? You like eating solo? It's nice sometimes.
It's not.
Solo.
You know what had happened was. Sometimes I go get me some food and eat it by myself at the restaurant or in the car before I get home.
He's so talented.
Because I be,
that's your
I'm
only
the
moment
cook.
though. But that's your only second. It's like sometimes, and I've been noticing that now with mine. It's like sometimes sitting in the car for a minute is that only minute you get to just decompress for a second, and then you walk into the house, and then you're on.
I'm on, right? I'm on as soon as I walk in the house. So yeah, I'm the cook.
Oh, you do cook for the family
I cook
too?
it for the whole family, 7 mouths, and sometimes. I just want my own moment to eat and enjoy my food.
And she deserves
that. And she does. She really does. Yes, she does. Yeah. And one day, you know what? Shout out to my son, Steven.
Yeah, he's in the studio today.
Yeah,
Steven.
he is. He is learning to be a chef.
You want to come say something nice about your mom on the mic?
Yeah, come on. Come up here and talk nice to me. Come on.
You'll be on YouTube. I know you watch YouTubers.
Yeah, he does. Oh my God. He's always at the Her Eminent Reign events. He's usually the usher, or he's usually the usher, or he's giving people directions, escorting our women to their seats.
That's so
he
sweet.
wears a nice little suit. He wears his Her Eminent Reign pin, and he just shows up.
Yeah.
He shows up, Scoot over.
Yeah. Here, Steven, say something nice about your mom. You got to come up close to the mic.
Come on, son.
She's very creative with all her work that she does. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. How am I as a mama to you, though? Tell the people.
She cooks food very well. And she taught me how to cook food too.
Oh, you cook too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been.
I see you got that little dimple too.
I know, right? So he trains. He has a couple of sessions scheduled with Agile. He also trained under Jawan Rice for a minute.
Oh wow.
So he really wants to get into the chef and culinary world, and I'm gonna support that. You know,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Sushi?
And he loves sushi.
I
Oh,
like sushi.
really?
This is my homeschool child.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
sushi's so good. I'm surprised you like sushi. Now a lot of kids your age don't really eat. You like the raw fish and everything.
I like California rolls.
Oh, California rolls.
He's like,
you gotta
"Keep it
start
for me."
discovering those crazy rolls.
I like Dragon Crunch roll and all the other rolls.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. We'll appreciate. Yeah, Jawan's a beast. Jawan's a young chef too.
I know.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
Yeah,
you
we've had him on the
definitely-
show. Yeah.
Definitely catch Steven out here.
Well, you're gonna make somebody really
chauffeuring.
happy cooking for them one day.
I know.
Yeah.
Me, it's the me he's gonna
you,
make happy.
you. I'm
yeah.
talking some other girl.
That's what I'm saying. Until then, until
He makes some
starts
other
to
lady
cook,
happy.
I'm gonna keep going to the restaurants by myself.
Appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for your time and thank you for coming on the show today. And
Thank
glad we got to
you.
get Steven on the show. That's really awesome. And just tell people where they can find you guys on socials and then on the website and give us a little plug.
Absolutely. So you can definitely find me at hereminentreign.art. That's our website. Her Eminent Reign on all social media platforms. Let me spell that too. It's HEREMINENT. Reign, REIGN. And then, of course, myself, Renaissance TJS or Myrina Renaissance on different socials. So definitely. And shout out to STL Bucket List, y'all, because I save a lot of their posts. I have different boards on my Instagram, and one of them say food and shit 2.0. And Bucket List got a whole lot of them saves on my stuff. So shout out to STL Bucket List for keeping us informed on all the cool happenings that's going on in St. Louis and giving me and my husband something to do for our anniversary, because that's where I'm going to go find something to do.
Let's go. I'll send you some. So thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate
Thank
your time. I know it's
you.
busy for you. So
Absolutely.
all right, guys, we'll see you at the weekend.
Peace.
Come on. She believes.
She believes.
Today they rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.